Good afternoon, guys. It is October 16th, 2022. In this video here, I want to talk about the sanitaire that I have. I get a lot of questions about my sanitaire. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, you like Kirby so much. Have you ever thought about sanitaires? And I'm telling you the absolute truth here. I absolutely love the sanitaires. I think they are great. I think they are one of the best built vacuum cleaners you can get. They clean extremely well, and they are very reliable. And they're so easy to repair and get parts for, and everything like that. The Kirby's are slightly more advanced than these, but they're still very simple. The way that they're designed, in terms of repairs and parts and everything like that. And a lot of people, to excuse the noise, life of living next to railroad tracks. You get trains just screeching on by. So I apologize if you hear that in the background. But anyway, so what I was saying is there's just a lot of simple things. Like, some of you may remember this base here. I have it right here, actually. That was originally on this machine. And so I wanted a more narrow machine. I thought about selling this machine as a wide model and then buying a more narrow model, but that just seemed to be too much effort in trying to sell this, and then not only that, but trying to find another one that's actually in good condition, when I had already put all that work into this machine, getting a new motor for it, because it had a bad motor when I got it. I put a new cord in it. I put a new fan in it. I put a lot into this. And so basically the only thing I had to do was get the base, the bottom plate, and the brush roll. Which the base was like $35. It was dirt cheap. You can't even get a halfway decent Bissell vacuum for $35. I mean, you just can't. So, yeah. So, I have not moved the ratings plate onto the bottom or anything like that. I do use this. It just depends on when I use it and what I want to do, but it's been really good. I think it's worth it. I mean, if you want a sanitaire more than a Kirby, then you go right ahead. I mean, I don't care, really. A lot of people have been arguing and saying, well, you're just a Kirby snob. And I mean, I get it. I love my Kirby's. That is true. But I have never, ever said that, you know, all I like is Kirby's and all I recommend is Kirby's. Ever. Um, I like a lot of other machines. Basically, I like machines that are just simple. Simple to get parts for, simple to repair, and that are built really solid and last a very long time. Because you want your vacuum cleaner to be sturdy. You don't want it to be flimsy. You don't want it to be cheap, thin plastic that breaks if it gets bumped into the wall. I don't advocate being rough with your vacuums, but, accidents are going to happen. You're going to bump into walls, you're going to bump into furniture, things are going to happen. And so that's why I advocate buying a good quality machine in the first place. But not only that, something that you can actually get parts for. Something that you can actually repair when it needs it. Just a simple, small part if something were to ever wear out. Brush rollers. Those wear out every 5 to 10 years, of use, on average. Sometimes you can get a little longer. Sometimes you get a little less because you use them so much. It just depends on your use and your environment. But yeah, so being able to replace parts, that is a huge thing that I advocate big time. That is why I strongly recommend the commercial vacuum cleaners. Not just these sanitaires, but commercial vacuum cleaners that actually are designed to be supported and repaired. Because, a vacuum cleaner is just like any other appliance. We spend so much money on them. We spend so much time using them. Some households use them daily. So you want something that's going to be reliable and that's going to last. Because, the cost of one of these sanitaires is the same, maybe a little more, than the cost of a Shark vacuum cleaner. And I know I have a lot of people that hate me for not liking Shark. Dude, if you want to get a Shark, go right ahead and get a Shark. I really don't care. You do whatever you want to do. People have told me, oh, you can't tell people how to live their lives and what to buy and everything. I have never told people what to do or what they can or can't do. I never once have said that. I advocate making a good decision and doing research, and I give you good recommendations and suggestions, but you do not have to follow what I say. I don't expect that. I don't demand that. I am just giving the best information that I know, not only to you collectors and enthusiasts, but also to the average consumer. Because I do have average consumers who watch my videos. This is not just about enthusiasts slash collectors. It is not. I am talking to average consumers as well when I recommend these things. And I try to push all my biases aside, especially when I'm trying to aim at the average consumer, because I want to be honest with the consumers. I want to give them the best knowledge that I know and share that knowledge and information with them the best I can. And I want people to be happy with what they have and not say, oh, I constantly have issues, or this is just so hard to deal with. You know, because that's not something that I want for people. And, you know, one of the things that I think is also just in the economic times that we're living in right now, I understand that people are on a budget, but I also understand that if you get something that lasts and you're spending like $200, $300 on a vacuum cleaner anyway, if you're like wanting a Shark or a Dyson or something like that, I'm trying to point people to options that are going to last much longer and hold up in the long run, and that ultimately is going to save them money long term. You know, because I can tell you that some of these companies, their customer service is crap. Yeah, I mean, it just is. I mean, look at Shark. I mean, Shark tries to wiggle and sneak their way out of every warranty claim and every issue that people have. I have heard numerous reports on that. You know, so, and I'm not saying all of, you know, the name brands from the stores are bad. You know, Bissell is pretty darn good from what I've heard. TTI can be pretty good with support and actually willing to take care of you. You know, so there are some big brands out there that are actually really good with customer service. But that's just something that I think about long term. And honestly, with these sanitairs, I mean, if any small part ever breaks or goes out, it is so incredibly cheap, it's not even funny. I mean, you just go on eBay or wherever, type in, you know, sanitary vacuum parts, and I mean, there is a whole slew of parts. Everything from the motor all the way down to a simple bolt. I mean, literally, there is absolutely everything. Any part under the sun that you would ever need, it's available. And so that is part of what I advocate for. If you can find a good older classic Oreck, those are really good too. Those are so simple, those are so lightweight, you know. And a lot of people who are griping about, oh, well, the Kirby is heavy, the Kirby is heavy. I understand that a heavy Kirby is not for everybody. So look at an Oreck. That's a lighter machine that I recommend. They're easy to service, they're easy to repair, Parts are everywhere for them. They last for decades and decades and decades. And, I mean, that's the whole point of all this, is getting the most value out of your money. Because if you're going to spend $200, $300 on a vacuum cleaner that is really not designed to last, be repaired, or, really hold up and just be thrown away, then you're basically just throwing away your money. It's a very short-term, disposable investment. And quite frankly, I don't believe vacuum cleaners are disposable appliances. They just aren't. I mean, period. I mean, we use them every day, every week, and, depending upon, your household and, how many people you have, I mean, we can be vacuuming anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week. Easy. And stuff. I mean, think about, like, your dishwasher, your washer, your dryer, all of that stuff. Don't we try to look for stuff that's actually good and that will do a good job and that will last and stuff? Most of the time, yes, because we're trying to get a cleaning task done. It is no different with a vacuum cleaner. It's the exact same principle. You have got to do some research. You have got to really understand, what is out there. And I'm not picking on anybody at all, but I'm just trying to make it clear to those of you who just keep, arguing with me and stuff because I don't like certain machines. I'm just being as honest as I can, because the truth is, the simpler you keep it, and the more common the machine is, and the more common the parts are, the cheaper and the easier it is going to be fixed. That was a mouthful. So, because honestly, like, there are people who have, like, Eureka Sanitaires and Orex and Kirby's and stuff that have had them for like 35 years, never had a problem. Other than maybe a minor thing that they needed to replace, like, the roller brush wore out or something like that, which, I mean, that's a common wear item. I mean, I've had people argue about that and say, oh, well, those are never supposed to wear out. Really? I mean, so you might as well say that about your toothbrush. I mean, oh, your toothbrush never wears out, so you have the same toothbrush for your whole life, and it never wears out, it never gets nasty. Nobody in their right mind would actually do that. At least I would hope not. It's the exact same principle with your vacuum cleaner brush. It doesn't need to be replaced all the time like bags or belts, but after, 5, 10, 15 years of use, either the bristles get pretty worn out or the bearings in the brush roll get locked up and seize up. There's no getting around it. One of them is bound to happen at some time or another. And so, being able to replace those parts, and that's the thing with the Sharks and the Dysons, is you can't replace those brush rollers. I mean, any of the common wear items, need to be able to be replaced, they need to be able to be accessed easily, and they need to be common and widely available and inexpensive for the consumer. I mean, that's just the bottom line. And when you have a bagged vacuum cleaner, you know, the bags will last you several months before you even have to change a bag in most cases, and, you know, you just have bags on hand. It's no different than having garbage bags for your kitchen trash or whatever. I mean, it's the same principle. You know, you pull it out, you throw it away, and you put a fresh bag in, and it's a fresh start. So, there's just a lot of simple, common sense things. And I pulled this machine out because I've been getting a lot of haters out there saying, well, you just like Kirby. You're just like Kirby. You're just like Kirby. Yes, Kirby's are my favorite. Honestly, they are. But in no way, shape, or form have I ever said that all other vacuums are off limits or not one that I would consider. I never once have said that. Ever. So, anyway, that's just a little bit of clearing up on that. But, yes, so these machines are very well built. I mean, they will last you a long time. Are they old style? Yeah, but sometimes the older stuff is better than the newer stuff. Not all the time, but sometimes they are. And a lot of times with vacuum cleaners, especially with carpet, older stuff just works better. So, anyway, that about does it for this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.